Hello, coffee people. So today we on the same topic, but at least a wider range of it. We say coffee bring people together, but hospitality bring them back. And today we are joined by one of well-known East and Central Africa F&B manager. He's going to introduce himself. He runs a franchise by the name Paparotti. Apparently, Paparotti started in Malaysia and widely spread in Dubai. So right now he has been trying to bring the whole franchise in Africa, and he has been running some few chains of restaurant in Kenya. And ladies and gentlemen, please clap hands together to welcome the one and the only Mr. Peter Wathugi.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate. My name
Karibu
is Peter
sana.
Wathugi.
Yes,
I'm happy to be here.
kindly.
Good to have me. I should say that. So my
Reintroduce
name
yourself.
is Peter Wathugi, General
Yes.
Manager Paparotti Kenya,
Yes.
and a hotel consultant or F&B consultant.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
So what exactly is F&B
So
and all that?
it's food and beverage. So I've been doing this for like last 19 years.
Whoa.
Yeah, and that doesn't take you to the next question of asking me how old I am. Because I started working when I was a very young man.
That means you're still young.
Yes,
You look so young.
Exactly. That's why I told you just don't mind about my ears because it's a lot, you know.
So how
But
did you
I'm
start
happy to
your
hear.
journey?
So I started back in 2007.
Okay.
I used to work in around that time. Yeah, I started in a very local place called Village in Kiambu.
Okay.
When I was still schooling.
So a local hotel or
A local restaurant. Yeah, it was owned by Jacaranda Hotels,
Okay.
Westlands. So I started there as a waiter.
Okay.
Where I worked there for like an year or so, and then
Wait, before
go ahead.
you tell us now about how you started now the journey. Did you go to school to do the whole thing about hospitality?
Yes, I did. I did food production and service.
Okay.
So I am a chef.
Okay. You're a chef.
I can cook.
Wow.
I'm everything. I'm a whole bundle. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a chef. I'm a waiter. I can be a steward. I'm a barista. By the way, qualified barista. Yeah. So I know about coffee.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then from there I moved to Village Inn,
Okay.
and then I moved to Jacaranda Hotel Westlands.
Sure.
That's owned by Jenga Karume when he was still alive.
Okay.
So and then I moved to Avalon Tavern in Lavington.
Yeah.
Someone poached me there to become the supervisor. I think it's how best I was, yeah?
Yeah.
So I'm a person who takes a lot of chances. So what happened when I was in Lavington, Avalon Tavern,
Yeah.
someone one day I just woke up and I decided, you know what, I need to try something different, yeah?
Sure.
I need to stop, Avalon Tavern.
Jumping all over.
Yes, and Avalon Tavern was kind of a club setup, but I just was looking for a fine dine thing to do. I was still young, so I was still
juggling
confused
around and all that,
so I wasn't settled. So I decided to go to, one day I just decided, let me go to Galleria Mall, because I had they opening a restaurant there.
Okay.
So I just go and check. So a friend of mine told me, just come and try it out. It's a new chain of restaurants in Nairobi that is coming up. We have one in Westgate, something like that.
So they had already opened a branch.
Yeah. So I went and I sat in Galleria and I ordered a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
From this waitress. I always remember her name is Judy. So Judy, wherever she is, she's a champion because she is the one who trained me at the end of the day.
Sure.
So I
she was a supervisor?
No. She was just a waitress.
Okay.
So I sat down. I took my cup of coffee. And not that I could afford that coffee, but I had a passion to see what is going on, yeah?
Uh-huh.
So I sat down and I started having my coffee, and then I asked the waitress, if I need a job here, what am I supposed to do?
Okay.
So she was like, you see that man standing, seated down there with a lot of paperwork on the table? That's our branch manager, yeah?
Mm-hmm. That was back in 20?
That was back in 20. Now, after my juggling Avalon Tavern and Jacaranda Hotels and all that, that was around 2011.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where my real journey started.
Sure.
So 2011, I met Dominic. So that time, Dominic was with the paperwork. So I told him, hi, how are you? Can I have a seat?
Yeah.
We need to have a conversation.
Yeah, sure.
And he was like, yeah, just have a seat. What's your name? My name is Peter. So what are you looking for? I'm looking for a job. And I don't want to live here without a job.
Yeah, sure.
So the way I spoke, he really didn't need my CV. We had a very friendly conversation. He stopped even writing the things that he was writing. He started looking at me, tell me about yourself. What do you want to do? What do you want to bring to this company?
I'm sure he was impressed.
He was impressed. I must say that.
Yeah.
So, and then we finished. Luckily, he told me, you don't even have to pay for that coffee. And I was like, oh, Amazing. So I left, and he told me, you're going to hear from me, just leave your phone number. With the usual thing that when you go for an interview and people tells you, we will call you back.
Call you back.
So I decided, you know what? Even if I don't get it, it's fine. I tried.
They called back, actually?
Immediately, I didn't even took the bus to town, yeah?
Yeah.
They just called me when I was at the stage. And he told me, tomorrow, come with your CV, come with a black trouser, a white shirt, and a low flat black shoes.
Whoa.
So, and I was like, so does it mean I have a job? And he told me, yes, you got a job. And my journey started, yeah?
And it started now in which company was this? Which
This
chain
is Art
of
Cafe.
restaurant?
This is Art Cafe,
now,
yes.
Yeah. As a waitress?
As a waiter. Yes.
Okay.
So I started in 2011. I remember very well it was 2011 August, yeah?
Yeah.
And then I started my training in the morning. And I have this, I don't know whether it's a gift, I can call it what. Wherever I go, people love me for who I am. Because I think I only have one enemy. My enemy is Satan. Yeah. So I started the job.
Yeah.
I started the training. And it was great. And apparently I joined the team. Now after 2 weeks of my training, I did exam. I got 80%.
Yeah, okay.
And then I started working with people. The lady called Judy started training me. She was amazing, very hospitable, very accommodative. And then it started. So I did my 6 months.
Okay.
And then I'll move to...
6 month training.
No. 2 weeks training,
okay,
but 6 months in action.
Okay.
I was the best waiter. Every customer who was coming in that restaurant, they need to know where I'm serving. We have allocations, yeah?
Okay, sure.
So they need to know where I'm serving. So they used to come and ask me, where is your location today? I will tell them it's this, and all of them, they will sit there. I used to make a lot of tips, by the way, in Art Cafe Galleria, a lot of money.
And what shaped all that?
And then from there, I moved to... what shaped all that?
Yeah.
It's a good touch because I was not money-oriented, yeah?
Okay.
Because majority of the waiters in this hospitality industry are money-oriented. So I need to serve you for you to tip me. It's not a must. You get tipped by a customer. But
So most of the service provider, they give extraordinary service, expecting
something in return.
So which is if at all I'm not going to give you,
I'm not going to give you good
the
service
services I need.
And that is how people profile customers when they come to a restaurant. When I see a customer coming in and yesterday they didn't leave me with anything, I will assume them. So me, I was focusing on those customers who you guys are assuming, yeah?
Okay.
And I remember one customer who never used to leave something on the table. You just do your service and everything.
Yeah.
And he was an amazing man. But now he started tipping. So in my mind, I thought, I'm the person who changed his mentality. You understand?
Yeah,
because me, when seeing a customer coming to a restaurant, for me, it's something so big because this customer have a choice. You need to understand that, yeah?
Yeah, sure.
This customer can choose to go. Java was next to us.
Yeah, sure.
But the customer decided to come
to Art Cafe.
Past Java, apparently, because it was next to the parking.
Yeah.
Actually, you're parking in Galleria. Have you ever gone to Galleria?
Yeah.
So when you're parking at Galleria, Java is just next to you.
Yeah, sure.
So it's a convenient restaurant.
Yeah.
But apparently, you used to come to Art Cafe. And I used to tell people, don't take it for granted. This person passed Java, came to Art Cafe for a reason.
Yeah, sure.
So it started. After 5 months, I was transferred to Art Cafe Junction.
Okay.
They had newly opened, so they needed very good force to work with them.
Okay.
As me being part of one of the best waiters, I moved to Art Cafe Junction. And I will tell you, I didn't even... I took almost 2 months in Art Cafe Junction. Again, as a best waiter, we had this incentive. It was money that we were given at the end of the month.
Okay.
Motivate the team. Yeah, motivation, yeah. So for those 2 months, I took the money and I was so new. And everybody was against me. And then it came to a point that when managers are giving out stations, they will tell me, they used to nickname me Marangi, yeah? Because my name is Peter. So Peter Marangi. They used to tell me, Marangi, you are attending to unattended customers. You see? So everybody will stay on toes in
so
that shift.
You won't attend the attended. Yeah.
And I will tell you something. When I hold that tray, I used to call it, this is my laptop. This is my office. Yeah, I used to clean it in the morning, sanitize it, put my Spontex there, ready to clean the table. And then I go to the floor. I used to be amazing, by the way.
Now, how do you get now to the radar where now you
Now
are
from
right
there,
now?
after 2 months, we got a lady from Israel that she came to take over as a manager. Her name was Hila. And she came and told me, you know what? I'm looking for supervisors. So in my mind, just like any other waiter, I was like, now I move from tips and then you go and give me a fixed salary. How am I going to survive? Yeah. So, and then apparently she gave me, we had a very rough conversation about it, because I told her, you know what, just give it to somebody else. But I didn't know what is coming for me.
Yeah.
You know. So I chose, one day I just walked out. I needed some fresh air. I went and I sat somewhere and I asked myself, what is this going to take me? Where will it going to take me? And I was like, you know what, let me give it a shot. The following day I came in, we were wearing black shirts. No, don't forget, this is what is happening.
Yeah.
The waiters that you're working with, now you're supposed to tell them what to do. Look at how challenging that thing is.
It's a little bit rough.
My buddy telling him, collect those papers on the floor.
Clean your table.
Clean your tables. That customer walked out. I have to give you a warning letter, or I have to talk to you.
It's rough.
It was rough. Man, it was rough.
And how do you overcome such?
It's grace
At that particular time, how did you overcome all that?
It's grace of God. Because there was, after a week or so, there was one day I woke up and I decided, you know what? I'm going to quit. Because the rejection that I was getting from my junior, now my junior, I'll call them my junior employees, was too hard, was too bad. Yeah? And I decided, you know what? I'm not a loser. Let me keep on keeping on.
You had to fight it.
So I think the journey made me rough, because now they started telling me, please calm down, we will do what you want. Because I told them, if you don't do this by the book, I will use very wrong ways to do it. And you're going to get where I want. Because at the end of it, it's you.
Yeah.
It's just about you. And if you fail, it's you again. Yeah. So it became very easy for me after running the branch for like 2 months. I had a group of team that used to support me. I always remember them and I always thank them because of that. They gave me a very good support, conducive environment. And then we kicked. And then I remember those customers that I used to deal with. They were so happy for me. Some of them were even coming to give me. They will be served by a waiter, but when they're leaving home, they will give me my tip separate.
As a supervisor?
Yeah, as a supervisor. They used to come and tell me, we still remember your good service and you need to keep pushing. Some of them used to come and tell me, Peter, I don't care, you become a supervisor, you have to serve me and my family. And I will tell them, you know what, I will do it. And I will tell a waiter, whatever we'll do, I will give you the tip.
Now, what was the next stage after supervisor?
The next stage from the supervisor, I was promoted as assistant branch manager. And I was moved to Yaya Center.
Another branch now?
Yes.
Another region as well?
Yes. And Yaya Center, where I came from a very different customer setup. Because now, Karen area have different client with Yaya.
Sure.
I went there and I really worked well. People welcomed me well. The sales started shooting. So everything that I was doing was just growing, And then I believed on that stage. I believed on touching hearts and creating small Peters, small leaders who can follow. Whenever I'm going up, someone has to fill in. So I was telling them, if I move up, you need to move up with me. You need to replace me. And then it happened. After my years of Yaya Center as a assistant branch manager, now Hub came up at Cafe the Hub. And I was sent there to open as a branch manager.
So this is a ladder. The assistant now.
Yes.
Now you got to a branch manager.
So I was running. So in my mind, I decided, you know what? This is a whole branch that I'm holding on my own. So I need to move from the mentality of, I'm just reporting to my branch manager. Now I'm the branch manager. People have to report to me so that I can report to my seniors, Hub was a success in 4 months.
The branch.
It was just amazing.
It was shooting, you're making sales.
And then I created 2 girls who are my assistant. Let me call them assistant because they
sure.
were doing the same thing that I'm doing.
Yeah.
And then they used to love me so much because I used to do tests. Because when you're going to a restaurant, there are some things that I check. The ambience need to be amazing. They need to be light, just nice, cool
Small
music,
details.
small details. The papers on the floor. I'll even pick some papers from the floor and drop them and walk and
Just to see how they will react.
attentive. And apparently, when you look at her, you will see her smiling. Especially Beryl, she will be like, "I saw you." I will dim the light. So the restaurant will look dull to see what she's gonna do. And then she will come and put it up. I will switch off the music the same. So one day I sat at the counter, I was doing my end month report, and one of my bosses, my amazing mentor called Yaniv came.
Okay.
He's an amazing guy, by the way.
Sure.
Because he gives you training with all his heart without So he came and asked me, the restaurant is so busy. Why are you seated? I told him, let's sit and have coffee and tell me. I need you to point mistakes because what I'm doing my evaluations. I need to see whether I'm needed in this house. And then after 1 hour, he told me, you know what? What do you want? I told him, I just need a more challenging thing than a branch manager. This is too small for me. Now I need you to give Beryl the job of a branch manager or Maureen to give a job of a branch manager.
But I no longer need this.
I need to be out. Or you just give me some leave days. I go stay at home. I have so many leave days. Then he's a guy who loves challenges and he's an amazing man, yeah? So he was like, oh, that's what you want? Okay, let's see about it. And then he left. So the following morning, he called me and asked me, what shift are you? I told him we had 3 shifts, yeah? We had morning shift, swing shift, and PM shift. So I told him I'm on swing shift.
Okay.
Why on swing shift? Because I need to see what Beryl is doing in the morning and what Maureen is doing in the evening. So I need to balance. I need to feel like this place is just
giving
okay.
the same.
Yes. So, and then he came and told me, you know what? You see the laptop where we were seated yesterday? Just go to the laptop, just see what I've written there, and then come and tell me what you think. So it was a surprise. And I went and I read all the details and job description, and he told me, officially, you're a regional manager.
Whoa.
Now you need to handle more than 3 branches.
Okay.
I will give you a test of 4 branches and see how you can perform. So in this setup now, I'm in charge of all operations.
Yeah.
My P&Ls. I am in charge of everything.
So you're operational manager.
Yes.
Or a general manager.
Let's call them all the names, but now I was handling all the responsibilities.
The region,
yeah?
Yeah.
And I was told, you know what? And it's starting tomorrow. And Beryl is a branch manager.
Whoa.
And I was like, yes, this is exactly what I needed. And then he told Maureen, you are the assistant branch manager. So for me, what I felt, I created 2 managers. I give them a growth both position-wise and financially.
Yeah, sure.
Because there is money coming to it.
Yeah.
And myself, I gave myself growth. Also financially, I grew. Yeah.
Now, before you continue, what is hospitality, or rather, what's a great hospitality?
A great hospitality. You see, you need to understand one thing.
Yes.
When someone comes into your house, how do you welcome them? Do you open a door for them and then you let them follow you to the sitting room or to the bedroom or to the kitchen? You need to ask yourself that question. The way I open hospitality is exactly what you do in your house.
Yeah.
You see, when you have a guest, they ring the bell, you open the door, and you tell them, you're welcome. Yeah? You've let them in to your house. You don't let them close the door behind you. You don't tell them, close the door behind you. You close the door when they come in.
That's hospitality.
You're being hospitable. And then you don't leave someone just standing. You tell them, please have a seat over there. I'm coming.
You direct them.
Exactly. So in the restaurant, there's a sequence of service.
Okay.
From the door, the experience from the door, how the customer is welcomed.
Yes.
To the sitting.
Sure.
To the how they bring they bring the menus to the table. How your waiters say exactly all those words.
How I serve you in the house.
How serve you in the house. You see
the option that I will give you in the house.
Exactly.
The water that I will bring to you.
Yes, all those. That's hospitality. That's you being hospitable.
So I'm supposed to feel at home when I go to any restaurant.
Exactly. And when you're leaving, when you tell me now I need to leave. I don't tell you see you tomorrow. I'll just tell you, let me escort you outside. Let me go open the gate for you. Let me show you a way out.
Let me take you around.
Yes. So when you're telling that customer or that guest,
Yeah.
thank you for visiting us or thank you for coming. Next time you give me another chance to come, I will definitely run. Yeah. So
Sure.
in our setup, in hospitality setup, yeah, you need to understand that first of all, you are an option because you're having almost 10, for example, 10 restaurants around you.
Yeah, sure.
But someone chose, just think about this. Someone chose to come to your restaurant. Look at that in a bigger picture. Someone passed Java to come to Art Cafe.
You need to utilize that opportunity.
Yes. And this person, this is always what I would tell even my waiters and my employees and my managers right now.
Yeah.
When you see a customer coming to your restaurant, they didn't come to do anything else. They came there for two options, for drinks and food. So they're coming to dine. They have money. It's not your problem to think about, will they afford? No. When I left my house, when this customer left their house, they know they're going to Art Cafe and a steak is 3,000 bob.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when they come, currently where I am in Paparotti, it's not cheap. Yeah?
Yeah.
The menu is not cheap. But when I see a customer coming in, whatever they are spending,
yes,
I have to make sure that they feel worth of their money. However, people are hovering around them, asking them, did you meet your expectations? Are you enjoying your stay? It's very important to me. That's why currently I don't believe in sitting down.
Now, that gives us to a point whereby now what's exceptional customer service?
Exactly. Now, this customer, you need to give them a reason when they come. For example, in our Broadwalk Mall, we have food court, we have hash me upstairs. We have variety of restaurants.
Yeah, sure.
I need that customer when they're just leaving their house and they're driving to a restaurant. Their mind is just thinking Paparotti. And then I always have a trick that I will even tell everybody. You see, that young boy or young man who have come with his parent, those are kids. They are very important customers. Very important customers. How you treat them matters a lot.
They will make the parent come back.
A small thing that you did to them, they will make their parent to. I have a lady in Broadwalk Mall who sometimes comes with pajamas because of the kids. And she'll be like, Peter, these buns of yours, they're making these people not to sleep. They've already eaten their dinner. But and you know what I'm going to do? One day I told the boys, you know what? These 2 buns, I'm adding you 2 buns for tomorrow morning when you're going to school. So every weekend, they must come. They must show up.
Because of the bun.
Yes.
And because of that small service that you give.
So me, I don't really care much about this new client.
Yes.
I care about this customer who came back because he or she came back for a reason.
Yeah,
That's something that you need to understand. There's a reason brought them back. You understand? So if in between your service, that's why you as a branch manager or as a manager or whichever position you're holding as a leader, you need to touch tables. Touch tables, it means you need to go to the tables talking to customers. You have to avoid being too much, but at least you need to acknowledge them and let them know that you have someone who is concerned about you on what you're spending.
Do you think of the same? Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you think the owner's supposed to be running the shift as well? The owners of cafes.
Let me tell you something.
Or running as general manager or as your position.
Let me tell you something. Yeah?
Yes.
There's sometimes another respect that instill fears to your employees when they know that you own a cafe. I don't tell you not to run a restaurant as the owner of a cafe.
Okay.
But at least try to have someone who is holding that position between you and your employee. Like on my situation, I'm a general manager in Paparotti.
Sure.
We have our bosses, amazing bosses, by the way. But when they don't come in contact with the operations, because even me on my hierarchy, I cannot just go to my employees without passing to my branch manager. If I'm running the shift, I am the branch manager.
So there is a pyramid.
There is a pyramid of you need as
operating
as the owner of the restaurant. You need to be the umbrella of everybody. You need to be here because everybody depends on you.
So you're not supposed to be running around talking to customers or employees.
Because exactly what will happen when you do that, this waiter who is trying to give service, when they see you around, they respect you so much. When they see you around, there's this fear that they will feel, I am serving my boss, or my boss was on my table. I'm concerned to what they were told on my table. You see, because sometimes I will tell you, in my branch, there are some waiters who fears me, which I always try to talk to them and try to make them understand. We are part. I'm you.
not the boss.
Yes. And majority of restaurant owners, they've never been waiters before.
So they don't understand the whole
They don't
operational
understand.
thing.
Do you think it's easy for you to come in a restaurant and start asking a stranger, good afternoon, how was your day? Do you think it's easy?
It's not easy.
Approaching a group of 10
It's
people
not
who are all
easy.
looking at you to ask
not
them,
easy.
what are you going to eat today?
It's not easy.
You see, it's I respect waiters.
Now, what's the biggest challenge facing hospitality industry?
Biggest challenge is competition. Every single hour, every single day, restaurants are opening up. So you need to keep up with the speed.
And how do you cope up with that?
You need to have good service and consistency. Good food, good service and consistency. Because you can have good food, and if I will come to your restaurant and get bad service, I will not think of the good food that I ate. I will think of the bad waiter. For example, I will tell you, me, when a waiter is approaching me, I have to check their walking style, their posture, and how they smell. It's very important. Because you don't know who you're serving.
Yeah, sure.
Exactly. So the biggest challenge is how you need to retain these customers who are coming to you. So that even when they open another restaurant around you, you don't have challenge of customer running away from your restaurant.
Sure.
That's the reason when I opened Paparotti, I had a very big trend because I was the number one restaurant in Nairobi for close to 7 months, every day on social media, because of the hype. And I will tell you something. Okay, the business changes, I still have the hype, and I still have my repeated customer, although it's not on 100%. But at least I have the customer who always repeat and come because of. And all of them, when I'm talking to them, they tells me, by the way, so and so have an amazing service. Because it's same with me. When I go to a restaurant, me, I don't just dine. The whole experience has to matter to me. And I tip, by the way. I'm a very big tipper because I respect service. This guy who came to tip me, to serve me,
you,
I'm a stranger. So they gave me a very different perspective of how good service is. So when I'm going home, I need to acknowledge them and tell them, continue with a good job. I love your service and you're amazing. And if you go like this, you will go places. Because in restaurant, we serve different people. When I go to a restaurant, people don't know I run a brand. You see? When I was serving with, I will tell you something, my current boss, one of my current boss, used to be my customer in Art Cafe.
So they poached you.
Since 2015.
So they poached you.
Don't shout. Don't shout. Since 2015.
How do you gather and implement customer feedback as an operational level when having a guest complain?
Guest feedback are very important.
And how do you gather all that?
And I always tell people, even my supervisors and my managers, I always tell them, even waiters, when they come to me, I always tell them, I don't want you to tell me customer complain. Customer cannot leave their houses to come and complain in your restaurant. Complain is a very bad word that people give. You need to call it feedback. Because if it's a complaint, that customer could not care to tell you what they felt. Because they're giving you feedback for you to change. You understand? So me, I collect my feedback through my people on the ground, like supervisor, even myself, and also on Google reviews. So I frequent on Google reviews most of the time, and I respond to customer. If there's an issue, I will need to know what exactly happened. And if possible, I call that customer on a one-on-one conversation when they're dining in a restaurant, at least to try and change their experience.
Now, with or without you, how do you design a way of making them come back? Because sometimes you're not fully in the restaurant. How do you come up with a way or a culture to make them feel the same way they will feel with Peter?
I love the way you said culture.
Yes.
You as a leader, you are entitled for your culture. If you create a toxic culture, that is how your restaurant or your business is going to be.
Sure.
Because you need to understand, again, the people you're dealing with, the junior employee that you're dealing with,
Yeah.
these people, they're parents.
Yeah, sure.
They have bills to pay. They're mature people. So treat them. There's this saying by Richard Branson that says, treat your employees well and the business will take care of itself. So if you create that culture of you need to make sure that everybody is giving you the feedback and you treat them well, it's very important. And then it's incorporated with training.
Sure,
you have to give
sure.
a lot of training. That's why I always tell restaurant managers, whoever is running a restaurant, always have a briefing between the shift. Have a briefing sheet that you write. Briefing sheet act like your representative. So when people come, they need to know the missing item, what were the targets of the day, what you need to do. All those, they need to be in the briefing. So customer reviews, because how you collect a customer review, when you're talking to customer and tell them and ask them, how did we meet your expectations?
Yeah, sure.
That's a review.
Sure.
You can tell the customer reviewers. I always tell people, it's not bad even to tell the customer, you can mention my name. I like being mentioned, by the way. I like being mentioned. So feedback is very important, and that is how you maintain it. And then make sure that when you get the feedback, how you execute it is very important. You need to make sure that customer feels satisfied, and you're allowed to ask, did I meet your demands?
Okay.
Did I meet your expectation?
Do you do that on the same region? Right now you have branches in Djibouti, Uganda.
I have currently I'm working with the one in Kenya.
Okay.
And the one in Kampala.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how do you make sure that it's the same consistency and it's smooth?
You need to have the right people around you or working under you.
Sure.
And you need to treat them right.
Okay.
And you need to give them responsibilities.
Yeah.
And of course, everybody has to work with their KPIs.
Okay.
Yeah? Okay. Everybody has to. You cannot run a business without KPIs because we are not here for charity. You understand?
We have
here
to make money.
Exactly. And don't forget that customer. When you see them, the customer is like a king. You treat them in a nice way to make sure that they come back. You need to acknowledge them. As I told you before we started, you are an option to some people.
Yeah, sure.
Because this customer, you need to understand, there's a trend of customer. If you lose one customer, and that customer has a friend, they will go and tell a friend, and that friend will tell a friend. So you lose one customer, you lose almost 10. You see? Now imagine you in a day messing up with 10 customers. How many have you lost?
A lot.
It's a whole. It's almost a whole shift.
How do you handle team motivation and performance? Especially on a stressful time period.
You need to acknowledge people, and you don't have to motivate people in a monetary way.
Yeah,
there's so many ways that you can do. You can even create employee of the month. You put them on the restaurant in a portrait.
Sure.
You acknowledge them. You give them a voucher for the restaurant. They can come with their family. You can give them a meal with their family and they come, they enjoy. Sure. And then because you need to understand the person who is working for you, even the people, you by the way, the person you're working for is even responsible for your mental health. Yes. Because even people in the house, they need to feel that where I'm going to work, they really take good care of our father or a mother or a sister or a brother.
Sure.
Yeah. So you don't have, if you're in a capacity to give them money, you can do that as an incentive.
Okay.
But if not, you can give them vouchers. There's so many ways of motivating people. But people live with motivations.
Okay.
If they're doing something good to you, why don't you motivate them so that they can do better next time?
And what step do you take to train them in different departments as well?
First of all, I'm in charge of training my managerial department.
Okay.
So the same knowledge that I give them trickles down to the junior employees.
Okay.
Yes.
In different departments, maybe in the kitchen, barista, coffee session, and all that.
No, in our setup, I have HODs. I have a head barista, I have a head baker, I have my branch manager, I have my chef, and I have, those are the people that I have.
So there is a hierarchy in each department.
Yes. So when you're having a training, we have to have a training with HODs.
Okay.
And on top of training, there's something I'll learn from them, you see, that I don't know.
Sure.
So I am not the one who is giving everything. I have to give them even them. I need to give them chance to tell me what they think and ideas. And then it's important to gather information from the people that you work with, because you cannot work alone.
Sure.
You need to ask them questions.
No man is an island.
Exactly. Where do you see us in the next 5 years? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Okay.
Can we do better? Can we bring this offer? Can we sell 1+1 on water to make
something? Yeah.
Yes. So you need to involve them in everything that you're doing.
What's one trend that you see that is coming in this industry that will help the industry?
That will help the industry.
Yeah, a trend that will change the hospitality game.
If I'm asked, I've never seen what do you call this? A drive-through coffee shop
In Kenya?
I don't know.
I think in Kenya.
There's none.
Internationally, we do have a lot.
Yes, in Kenya there's no drive-through.
Really?
I've never seen one. Mention one that I don't know.
We don't have.
There's no drive-through coffee shop.
Really?
There's none.
Okay.
Because a drive-through coffee shop needs very fast employees. It's like the same thing. You go to KFC. I always frequent the KFC near the Ndegwa. So
we
when
don't
I'm
have
going
McDonald's around there?
No.
I think we do. McDonald's, they do have a drive-through, I think.
Yeah, it's very hard to have that, because you need very efficient people around you and very fast. Because me, when I'm going to work, I prefer not going to a restaurant to pick a coffee and croissant or a coffee and a bun.
You just need to drive around.
I need to drive.
As you pick.
And then you ask me, what do I need? I tell you I need a coffee and a Nutella bun, topped to Nutella. So when I'm paying and I'm driving over, you need to have my things. Do you think it's possible? I think
possible.
It is.
It is.
So if I could get a chance to have a drive-through coffee shop, I'll run for it.
How do you incorporate technology without losing a human touch? Right now we are having some concept over here. We have a robot cafe around actually in Kenya.
You cannot replace a human being.
Really?
In hospitality industry.
But we are dining for experience.
How will a robot give? I don't. It's. I need to talk to a human being. You understand? I need to talk to a human being. If you have to bring robot, yeah, fine. Okay. But at least have human beings around the robots, because one day those robots might malfunction.
Yeah, sure.
You understand?
Yeah.
And then you need to have someone in this. When I'm giving targets, how will I give a robot targets? Tell me. I will tell a robot, today we are selling ribeye steak. I need to see creamed spinach and creamed mushroom on top of.
So how do you tell a customer? We have to appreciate technology, Mr. Peter.
I agree, 100%. That's how we are growing. We have to appreciate that. But at least there is this touch of a customer. When I go to a customer, I tell them, your ribeye steak will look good will go well with mushroom sauce on top, with creamed spinach on the side, with sweet corns on your mashed potatoes, with extra sauce. You understand?
Yeah.
I am not blocking people to do what they think is good. But I prefer a touch.
Okay.
I prefer somebody that I can converse with and tell them, by the way, in future, change this as a person.
Yeah.
I cannot change a robot. I love giving feedbacks to people.
Okay.
Yes.
What's your memorable experience that you have ever given?
Oh.
Or service experience?
I remember one time I was working at Cafe Yaya.
Yeah.
And there was a gentleman who happened to have a very big party in his house, yeah?
Yeah.
It was an abrupt. So he came at around 12 midnight, yeah, when all my employees were going home.
Yeah.
And he was like, dude, I need you to do me a favor. Do your magic for me to get my food in the house for 20 people. I started calling employees from the matatu.
They will hate you, Peter.
No, they didn't hate me. Apparently, they loved me. I told them, you know what? We have a situation. We are hospitality people. Let's do this for this guy. And he was our frequent, regular customer. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So it happened, and I told them, let's do this. You know what happened?
Yeah.
All employees came back. How you treat your employees will give them an ultimatum to come back. Because I didn't even beg them. All of them came back.
Whoa.
We went to the kitchen. We cooked. We packed them. I told them, there's a van that is coming for us to take the food to that guy. We went and served the people. Yeah? I made money for the company because we made almost 70,000 out of it. And then on top of that, every employee was given by that guy 5,000 bob to go home. and he gave them transport. So for me,
Yeah.
I did not use force to anyone.
Yeah, sure.
I made money for the company, and I made money for the employees, by
Yeah,
the way.
sure.
They were happy. They were even telling me the following day, find such things. We do be doing quite oftenly. Because now, if you're giving someone 5,000 with that economy that time,
Yeah.
that is someone's rent. You see,
Yeah, sure,
because
sure.
that customer appreciated. And then on top of that, shockingly, that guy used to stay in South Africa. What happened, he came back. I will not tell you what it was, but he brought me a very precious gift that I have
Oh.
it up until now. And it was really expensive.
Now, as we wind that up, how do you bring a franchise in Kenya?
How do I bring a franchise in Kenya? How did I brought it?
Now, how did you even bring Paparotti in Kenya?
So this current boss of mine,
Yeah.
from 2015, he used to come to Art Cafe. So what he told me, I have this thing that I need to bring to the country.
Yeah.
And I have to run it through you, no matter what. So he came, he approached me one day and asked me, do you have some leave days that you can take? Because me, what I do, when you give me a job, I respect it and I do it wholeheartedly.
Yeah, sure.
And I don't want you to feel when I was working with you, I was a burden.
Yeah.
So I had the fact to respect that I was working for people. So I borrowed a 1 month leave. And then the guy told me, I'm going to send you to Dubai and I'm going to send you to Egypt. So what you need to do, you need to take a visa for Egypt. I will process a visa for Dubai.
Oh.
And then it happened. One day I told him, tomorrow I'm starting my leave. Tell me what you got. And he told me, you're leaving tomorrow in the evening, going to Dubai. It was my first time in Dubai.
Wow.
So I went, I spent the night, and then the following day he called me and told me, I want you in the evening to go through this mall, this mall, this mall.
Now that's take us to another. Which are the key elements do you check when scouting a location?
Traffic. Traffic and the business around that area and the competition for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Because the traffic, you're opening a restaurant for
Sure.
visibility. So you're opening a restaurant for people to see. For people to see.
So you had to go and scout?
Yeah, and you need to make it accessible. So what I went to Dubai to do, I went to see this brand called Paparotti.
Okay.
And I fell in love with it, by the way. In Dubai, they don't sell food. They only sell buns and drinks.
Okay.
And it was a really amazing concept that I loved. Because I went to Deira City Center. They have good service.
In different branches. They have a lot
Yes,
of branches.
They have a lot of branches. They have good service.
So what's
And
the
then
process of launching an outlet?
launching an outlet. Now let me come there. Yeah? Once
Yeah.
I finished, I finished from Dubai. I went to Egypt.
Yeah.
So the reason for sending me those two branches was one, the reason was to go and see the same concept with different settings. Because in Egypt, they are selling food. Dubai, it's only food and drinks only. In Kenya, we cannot live without food. So when I went to Egypt, Cairo, and Alexandria, I stayed there for like 2 weeks.
Okay.
And then I came back to Dubai. I spoke to my bosses and I told them I love
Give
the
them
brand.
report.
And they told me, okay, enjoy Dubai for a few days before you go back to your country. And then tell us when we need to start. So I came back and we found a location. The first location that we had started with wasn't good for us.
Okay.
So my bosses are amazing and they listen to what you tell them. So I told them, let's try to launch our flagship branch in a very in a good place that has traffic.
Okay.
And we went to Broadwalk Mall.
Nice.
Yeah.
No,
So that's where I started now.
Okay.
We found Broadwalk Mall. Broadwalk Mall is in the heart of Parklands. There's 2 roads. There's Muthithi. Those are the things that you need to check.
Okay.
There's Muthithi and there's Ojijo. You need to check and how the
Visibility, traffic.
visibility, traffic. Because now if you go, stand there, you just love what we have because it's very visible.
Now,
Yeah.
when hiring, what do you check on a staff or employee?
I am not the type of guy who goes for experienced people. If I'm not checking for a bigger position, yeah. If I'm finding a head barista, if I'm finding a general manager, like my current boss did,
Yeah.
I'm proud of them, by the way.
Yeah.
They found me.
Okay.
And they found I'm the right person for that job.
Yeah, sure.
So if you're finding the bigger, the
Positions.
top management, it's
Yeah.
always to go for the experienced people with the touch.
Okay.
Who understand the business very well.
Sure.
But for the junior employee, I believe as long as you can express yourself,
Yeah.
as long as you can talk, as long as you can say what you want, you're trainable. I don't go for people in Utali, people in big hotels. I don't do that, especially the waiters.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Build.
I built my own people when I was in charge of all the fit outs.
Okay.
By the way, after my fit outs, I did a hiring. I took people from universities, somebody who understands what is life.
Okay.
People who can express themselves, people who can tell you what they want.
Sure.
And I put them, me and another guy called Elvis, my branch manager, we put them in a very tough training for like 2-3 weeks before we did a soft opening.
Okay.
Apparently, shockingly, there was no soft opening because the moment I opened the doors,
it boomed.
I saw God. Man, I saw God. The place has been busy up until now. So my challenge in between was when I opened, yes, every day is a training day.
Yeah, sure.
Of course, I there was a very bad service at the beginning. But we managed.
Because of the pressure, unexpected pressure.
Yes, and then I went building my employees. I built my own payroll.
Yeah, sure.
In a very nice way, and I'm happy about my employees. They're just amazing because how they do and how they do things. I believe that they follow what I show them.
Okay.
Because right now, even when I'm in the restaurant, they don't look at me like a general manager. They look at me at like one of them. Because even sometimes when you're doing service, they will tell me, Peter, please grab that drink and drop it to the gentleman in red. And I'm okay to do it. Because I am not, there's difference between a boss and a leader.
And a leader, sure.
I am a leader.
You're not a boss.
I don't want that title. You understand? I don't want to be the boss. You understand?
Okay. Now, what's P&L?
It's a profit and loss account.
Okay.
And it's a very important thing when you're running a business.
Okay.
Because at the end of it, as long as you're giving good service, you have to make money. And that money, you have to have profits. So you have to check your margins, where I'm going wrong. P&L is a complete thing of so many things. You have to check your inventory. You have to discuss with your suppliers. You find cheaper options without messing with the quality. It's very important. Something cheaper.
Like you can maintain the target and give something quality at the same time.
You don't go for cheaper items for you to make money. You need to make sure that you have quality, again, when you're checking the cost.
Okay.
So it's cheaper, but quality.
How do you check food costs?
Food costs are very general, bigger picture.
Okay.
Because that is the main thing that eats up the money in a restaurant setup. Because food cost is a complete bigger topic.
Okay.
That,
we cannot even finish.
It's a very big, because from purchase up until to taking the food to the plate or to the customer.
Yeah.
There's a lot of human errors that eats up your money at the center. So you have to be very careful and for a healthy P&L for now, what I can tell you, maintain your payroll cost at 14%.
Okay.
And food cost at most 30%. At most.
Do you think that's what's eating hospitality right now? Because hospitality has really gone down in Kenya.
Yeah, that's the majority of things.
Hotels are closing, actually. Yeah. We had the Hilton that closed the other day.
You know, hotels are not working anymore.
Why?
Restaurants are trending. Because I will tell you currently where I am.
Yeah.
Majority of my customer for breakfast comes from the biggest hotels around my place.
So they no longer have their breakfast in that hotel.
Breakfast in the hotel
are
is boring.
Are they even sleeping in the hotels? Because right now we do have
Airbnb. No, that's a problem. There's Airbnbs and there's breakfast in the restaurant. So why do you need to be in a hotel?
I no longer need to go to big hotel.
Exactly. Unless you're a very prime person, just to avoid being seen in other places.
Okay.
I believe restaurant businesses, and we are coming back. From COVID time, we were hit.
Okay.
But right now, restaurants are coming up. Just what I need to tell people, if you open a restaurant, don't kill the chain, because what people are doing, they're overdoing it. Understand?
What would you tell someone who want to start a coffee shop or a restaurant?
You need to have the right people, because this thing can make you buy a blood pressure kit. Yes. You just need to have right people around you, who knows exactly what they're doing.
Okay.
Because that is very important.
What's your next in this profession?
My next? Ooh.
What are you aiming to?
I think I need to open, if I must.
You've been in the industry for the longest time.
Yes. I don't need to work in it more than, let me not tell you years. Yeah. But I need to open a hospitality school because I think we need to educate people more about hospitality. Because if I tell you, so many people ask me, you're so good in what you do, why don't you open your own?
Yeah.
You don't just wake up in the morning and open a restaurant.
Sure.
You need a lot of capital for sure, yeah? You need a lot of money. You need a lot of things to do. But in future, I think I will own a hospitality school.
Not even a restaurant.
Let me start there. And then maybe that hospitality school can open chain of restaurants.
Would you motivate people who want to be like you? Waiters, baristas,
Yeah.
restaurant managers.
All I can tell people is just be you. Just be you.
Sure.
Yeah. Don't copy people. Don't copy Peter. Just be you.
Natural.
Just be natural and just honest is a key. Integrity in this business is very important.
Sure.
By the because people respect you to who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you have integrity, you can go very, very, very far. And you need to be consistent.
Sure.
You as a person. Yeah. You need to, when you work somewhere or when you go somewhere and stay with people.
Yeah.
You need to leave a name. You need to be a legend. They don't. If I will tell you, if people stays and keep on mentioning you when you're without your presence,
Yeah.
even God will bless you.
Sure.
Yeah? And of course, fear God. Very important because success comes through
God.
prayers.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what inspires you in this hospitality?
It's a fun industry.
Sure.
I enjoy meeting new faces, new people. I've met so many people in my hospitality industry.
Yeah.
Different people. And I love it. Right now, we have a new community of Somalis in our country.
Yeah, sure,
I think
sure.
now all my friends are Somali. I've even gone to Mogadishu to do some training there. Yeah.
So you're
and
the
we need to
consultant.
acknowledge that they are coming to change. We need to acknowledge that they are coming to change what we have. They are investing, yeah, for us to get better.
Do they know the industry, how it runs?
Majority they don't know.
Okay.
But now, when they meet us, they get to know what this.
What they're expecting.
Exactly. Because if you check right now in our country, most of the restaurants are owned by Somalis.
Yeah, sure.
And they're creating employment. We need to be happy about that.
Yeah, sure.
Very happy about that.
Nice.
Very happy about that because they are the people who have the most restaurant investment in the country. Currently, in Nairobi. Currently. And they're expanding. They're opening more. Yeah. So they're creating employment.
Okay.
And they're keeping this chain of having F&B restaurants moving. Yeah.
As we wind up, sooner or later, I've been asking my guests, sooner or later, we might or might not have our president. That's it. Which one question would you ask him to do with this hospitality industry?
Oh, a question that I can ask him.
Yeah. What
about
would
this
you
industry
want him to change?
Currently,
Yeah.
let me not talk much about that.
Yeah.
I better keep quiet on that
Yeah,
because
sure.
there's a lot that is going on
Sure.
with the economy and everything.
Yeah.
And I don't find it fair. So I think what we need to do right now is focus with the elephant that we have.
Sure.
We need first to, move what we have.
Sure.
Because you don't know we have a very peaceful country.
Yeah.
I've gone to so many countries, but we have a very beautiful land.
Sure.
A land that you can do anything. I dare you go to Djibouti and try some things. You will not survive. Because our country, Kenya, our land, Kenya, is an amazing country.
Sure.
With beautiful people, skilled people, nice people around us.
Nice.
So I think we need to put that in mind, and whatever we are doing, we need to stop,
Yeah.
and do things the right way.
Anyway,
Yeah.
some last word would you like to tell our followers, people who have been watching this episode with?
Thank you so much. I appreciate this time. And we visit us in Paparotti, by the way, and visit our page. It's Paparotti Kenya and our TikTok. And we appreciate you will get good service.
Aye.
Yes.
Thank you so much for showing up.
Thank you.
So continue following us, continue subscribing to our YouTube channel. And remember that episode has been fully sponsored by Paparotti. And we really thank you for that.
Yeah.
And see you next time. See you in the next episode that we shall be doing. And ciao. Asanteni sana.
Thank you.